on to the actual question. Dave, it's that time of year again, you say. David Hartman asks, am I the only one who thinks that this would be more viable as a T-shirt? And he's got the crossing over graphic. And I think you added, I can add it to the TeePublic shop if you don't have any objections. And it's like, I don't have any objections. How is the TeePublic shop doing?
I owe you $62.75 for the past 3 months, and then on the 15th, I'll get paid for whatever December sales were.
Okay, so kidney-shaped swimming pool time.
It's one of those. It's weird because nothing. And I write the check out, and all of a sudden I'll get 3 emails from TeePublic saying you made a sale, and it's $7 total, and I'm like, right. Okay, and then nothing. It's just about the end of the month, and there'll be a sale for something. Part of it, TeePublic says you have to have 25 designs minimum before your store will do better, and I'm going, great, but what 25 designs are we going to put on that will fit all the products they have?
Right.
Like when I did the Batvark penis stuff, I made sure the face mask is close enough that it looks like Batvark's face when you're wearing it.
Right.
But then when Hartman came out, I'm like, the logo, the cover design doesn't really lend itself to doing that. So it's the cover, and then we did the Herm Edition Virgin cover, and I asked Hobbs and Birdsong about it of, hey, you guys have any notes? And Hobbs was going, you should make it so that it's a clear background on the image, but only printed on black T-shirts.
Right.
And I'm going, right. Okay, that makes sense. Because then I started playing around going, well, if you put the orange logo on an orange shirt, it's not quite the same orange, but at the same time, it looks really, really stupid. And there's part of me going, we should put it up there because somebody's going to think it's funny and want to buy it.
Right. Somebody is. If it's taking you 3 months to make $62 worth of royalties for Aardvark Anaheim, it's like, well, there's plenty of room for playing around here. It's not like you're going to kill sales by making a wrong move. I look at the crossing over thing and I go, if you printed that white on black, depending on where you were printing it, it would look cool, but it would be a very strange garment to wear that, people going, crossing over into what? And who are these two characters that I'm looking at? Are these even characters?
Is this the T-shirt for a Christian rock band?
Right. Or transgendered people, or whatever. It's I want one of those. I'm crossing over myself.
Or is it the kind of shirt you can only wear it when you're going into or out of Canada?
Which you're not supposed to do. We're just starting to find out now that since the pandemic began, we've been just letting everybody into Canada through the airports without checking up on them. So they're having a pilot project now. Why don't we say, like most other countries on the planet, you've got to have a negative test in the last 72 hours or you can't come into our country. And it's like, oh, that sounds racist to Canadians. How can you tell, nice Asian people or nice black people that they can't come into your country just because they don't have a negative test? Well, because theoretically this is a pandemic. You're locking people up in their houses. Let's not get started on that. We're just having fun here, and I have learned a while ago. If you think that Dave Sim usually doesn't have the same opinions as everybody else, let's not start talking about COVID-19. Margaret Liss asks the first one, DC Bulletins, Volume 1, Number 1. An Now and Then Times. Did Dave do the art for it? There is no signature that I can see or a credit for it in the issue. And indeed, I did do the wretched piece of art that you see before you. This would have been 1973, because I'm talking about Order Now and Then Times number 2. And in 1973, this is Dave Sim going, come on, if you squint a little bit, it looks like an Al Williamson photorealistic background. Doesn't it? Huh? Doesn't it? And it's like, no, it doesn't. You're using way too thick a brush, and you're using speedball pen nibs that are used for wide lettering, and you're trying to do Al Williamson. I mean, God help you. Then I got my magnifying glass out so that I could actually read the copy. This is definitely just typed on my typewriter. Now and Then Books has the largest stock of any back issue comic book store in Southern Ontario. There were only two of them. There was Now and Then Books and Memory Lane in Toronto. But just make it sound as good as you can. With complete runs of many Marvel titles from the early 60s to the present. And it's like, what? Harry never had complete runs of Marvel titles. He had back issues, and when he opened in '71, he had a copy of Fantastic Four #1 that with the unheard of price at the time of $50 on it. And it's like everybody was giving him a hard time. Harry, you can't sell a Fantastic Four #1 for $50. It's boy, Fantastic Four #1. I don't really want to sell it anyway. Literally thousands of national comic books in stock from the 50s and 60s. Thousands? No. Complete runs of Justice League, Superman, Batman, Action, Detective, complete runs? No, I really don't think so. I'm wondering if what I was doing here was going, maybe I can tempt people to actually drive all the way to Kitchener, Ontario to go, okay, I've at least got to see this. Complete runs of Superman, Batman, Action, Detective, showcase appearances of many of the more popular 60s characters. That would be a stretch as well. I remember Harry maybe having a showcase with the first Adam. I don't think he ever had one with Green Lantern 22 to 24. Pre-code horror and crime titles at low prices. Because they were in garbage condition. They were like, you'd be overpaying to buy them for 50 cents. But I was sitting in Harry's kitchen drinking his tea and reading these 1940s crime and horror comics. So I might as well mention them. Charlton Dell Disney's, including many early issues. More than 90% of our stock is overstreet priced or lower. That was probably accurate. Everybody was a little leery of Overstreet the first 2 or 3 years it was there. It wasn't as bad as Howard Rogowski, but it was still you're really pushing it. No comic book should go with that. Visit our store in downtown Kitchener or send a list of your wants. The idea that Harry would get in a list of somebody's wants and go, well, I'll have to watch out for those. Let this guy know that no, we haven't had a Batman #7 come in yet. But as soon as we do, you'll be the first one. You will be advised of what we have, the price, and conditions available. Conditions plural. We also buy comics. Send a list of what you have to sell and conditions for an estimate. Include a self-addressed stamped envelope. The best comics at the best prices with the fastest service. stretch on all of them. And of course, then the point of the ad was plugging Now and Then Times #2. My assumption was if you mention a fanzine with all of these amazing names in it, more than 50 pages for $1, everybody is going to want a copy of this. But then that was at the same time when Al Hewitson, as it says here, did a tribute to the late Sid Shores in the Now and Then Times. He actually pasted up all the pages and sent them to us. And then agreed to plug Now and Then Times #2 in a Skywold magazine, Psycho, Nightmare, or Scream. I forget which one it was in. And I'm thinking, okay, we're going to be rich because Psycho must sell to however many people it sells. It's a newsstand magazine. It probably was shipping 80,000, 100,000 copies at the time. And then we got orders for, I think, 12 copies. Like he did a fair-sized plug. It had a cover reproduction and mentioned that that archaic Al Hewitson did this article on Sid Shores, so you should pick it up for that alone. And just completely stricken, phoning Al Hewitson and saying, we only got like 12 orders. He went, actually, that's really good. Usually people don't buy any copies of stuff that I plug. So that was a real eye opener for the 17-year-old Dave Sim, who just thought anything that gets plugged anywhere in the mainstream media, and that's it. You're just going to become rich overnight.
And you learned.
Yes, slowly I learned. Definitely not at the time that I put this ad together. Margaret Liss asks the second one. Poster of the cover to number 53. One version just has the art, called Countess Michelle poster. Another one has the art